All right, Fortune, CISO, Virgin Media. How's everything going, man? Look at us rolling around in a Rolls Royce. Dude, which side of the road do we drive on here?
Good question. I'm French.
Oh no! I think you drive on the left.
Yes.
In your country. Oh no!
Yes, I know.
This is crazy, dude. So first off, thank you so much for being the first CISO ever in the CISO in cars here in London, man. That is absolutely insane. And I think the craziest part out of all of this stuff is that, like, you're actually from France, which is where my French father is from.
Fantastic. What a coincidence.
No, he's actually, so my first boss was actually French, and he was from Nice. So near the town,
Yes.
I think you know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so very close to your house, and he's been a huge inspiration in my life.
Yeah.
But I think, I guess for you've actually had a ton of inspirations that you were talking about in your life,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, correct.
Because in cyber, you've been doing this for so long.
Yeah, I've been doing that for 20 years now, and it's been it's amazing what you learn across the journey, right? Not just from life, but also from the people you meet, from bosses that you met, and also from company purposes. Right?
Wow. I mean, but who was the person that actually got you your start, that actually pushed you in the door?
I would say there was a particular gentleman who is Belgian, who had French Belgian, who had lots of influence in me.
Really?
He was instrumental in me understanding that security is not about security; it's about the business.
But when you say that, is it because of what? Like, what made him think about it like that?
I think what he got, I think he understood very quickly that it's about the risk impacting the business and the objectives of that business, right? And we can't just do security for security's sake.
Yeah.
And that my background is system design and architecture, and that made me think very quickly that that's a different perspective. It's about protecting the organization, but you just can't protect the whole organization. There are a few things where you got to look at the trade-offs, right? There are aspects of the business that you really need to zoom on, and some of them you need to say, okay, I'm not going to give in 100% here because we have limited resources.
Yeah. I mean, because you won't know, and then you have to be able to communicate that as a part of the business, right?
Absolutely. I think it's key to I would say it's important for us to understand the business, understand the customer journeys for that business, but also the employee journeys of that business. So those are key.
Oui, bien sûr.
Yes. Voilà, c'est ça.
But I think a big part of that, your background, especially in the Virgin side, right? Because it's connectivity, right? And when I take connectivity, in fact, actually, you're supposed to be wearing this jacket, but when I take connectivity, I think about how do you help the customer journey? How do you help that customer experience? But I think for you, do you have to get involved in that? Because sometimes cyber can kind of get in the way of the customer journey, no?
Well, no, but you're absolutely right. I think it's very difficult as a CISO if you really don't understand the business, right? And in this situation, connectivity. It's not about connectivity. Connectivity cannot be a noun. Connectivity is a verb. It's what you do with connectivity. How you enable people to connect, how you inspire.
But when you say connectivity, you mean literally their internet service provider?
Yes, the internet service provider, the phone provider.
I guess that's true, right? Because you do a lot of things when you're connected to the internet.
Exactly. Okay, telcos have been stuck in a generational situation for a while.
Yeah.
It's more about what you do.
But what do you mean? What does that mean? Like it's stuck in a generation?
But it's all about, okay, what is the next Gs, right? We were 2Gs, and then we moved to 3Gs and 4Gs.
But that was the speed component.
That was the speed component.
But do you mean there's a generational part to it as well?
Yes, it has it. Now it needs to move into continuous improvement, not wait for the next generation, right? It's about digital transformation. A lot is about continuous improvement. How do we use technology to drive superior customer experience? How do you drive fantastic employee experience to outsmart the competition? So those are the things that we need to be looking at, right? And more and more connectivity is now commoditized, right? Telco is
a lot of people have connectivity, connectivity.
But the true value is what you do with it. What are the value add? How do we transform?
Right.
Telcos needs to become what I call the digital glue to this new AI world or the post-digital world that we're talking about.
But do you think that like with cyber,
Yeah.
there's a lot of changes that happen?
Correct.
Like, I mean, the way that we did things 20 years ago,
Yes.
just no. And I say we,
Yeah.
but I'm a little bit of a bad person to ask about this because we actually build technology, and our goal is to build the best possible technology.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily relate to how things happen, right? For you, for
Yes.
example. So what would you say?
But no, I think that's a very good point, right? I think it's always about understanding what we do with that security.
Yeah.
Or what we do with cyber. And I don't think it's something that we've always considered. Well, we made lots of mistakes in terms of cyber in the past, right? We focused a lot on cyber. But to me, it's always about these 3 points.
Yeah.
First, secure product services.
Uh-huh.
Are we really driving secure product services? 2, are we protecting the organization?
Protecting the organization from hacks.
From
Basically,
hacks,
yeah,
from attacks. And 3, are we assuring customers, stakeholders, regulators?
Yeah.
To me, those are the 3 that we need to focus on. And it's key.
Yeah.
Secure
Security.
secure products and services.
Mm-hmm.
Protect the organization against attack or defend the organization
Against attack, yeah.
And 3, assure the customers and say, hey, I have your data.
And it's secure.
I have it secure. You need
Because
to
it's
have
a
peace
lot of
mind.
people, right? I mean,
Exactly.
there's a lot of customers that use your stuff.
Yes. And you need to have peace of mind, right? I may have the coolest product in the world. If you don't have peace of mind, you
Yeah.
will not trust me. And if you don't trust me, you will not engage with me as a customer.
Right. And then, I mean, obviously, like, these customers do have a little bit of a choice. I think not like US where you have zero internet connectivity choice at all, right?
Yep. And you have lots of choice in this country where you can go to anywhere, right? Where we have lots of new market entrants, the altnet. We also have our competition. So,
But what do you think about then? With cybersecurity is not exactly like, because there's like a few big players that definitely own the space, right?
yes.
So for you, like, do you like to work with startups? Like, do you feel like that's something you like to do?
Absolutely. I have worked with many startups in the past and even currently because they innovate faster. They are responding to my needs. I think I'm driving that API first concept, that platformization of the ecosystems. Legacy companies or cybersecurity legacy companies
Yeah.
are not there or clunky, or they'll have they'll have to do lots of changes to fit into my need.
Right, because I mean, they are also, I think, kind of deadlocked in some ways, right?
Exactly, and they are set in their ways, right? And that's what it is. While if I get a startup that has a cool product that meets my needs, that can, work with me, tweak whatever we are doing, and you can always talk to them, right? Grow with them. That's what I call grow with them. You can grow with them and get what you need very quickly. And I think over the last 5-6 years, I've used 5 startups that are now big companies.
Really?
Yes.
So you actually chose them.
Yes.
You should be a VC.
One of them, which is now a huge market player,
Which one?
followed me all the way to San Francisco.
Really?
Yes, we had a discussion after them. Okay, I'm having a meeting in San Francisco. We continue the discussion. I'm back, and they joined the flight.
Really?
Yes, and we had a good discussion. And
He joined the flight with you.
with me. But when we came back, and you just have to work with them, right? And that's that flexibility that you don't get from the big players.
Because that helps you. They're interested in solving your problems, really, right?
Exactly.
But what do you think? I mean, are you even able to share which one that was?
No, I'm not able to
yeah,
share.
of course.
Yes.
Makes
Yes.
sense. I think like that's an interesting thing, right? It's like you're not able to share, but it's okay. I mean, that's actually a dream for a lot of people, though, right?
Correct. And it's I need to protect them, right?
Because they also have their
but it's the flexibility to adapt to what we are doing, and also what I'm noticing, what I noticed, my experience with startups is their approach was always, we are in it together with you. It's sink or swim approach.
Yes,
right?
sink or swim, yeah.
They know that, we're working with this big partner and someone has given us the chance but we also want to be successful with them. They want you to be successful in what you are trying to do.
Yeah.
And so you have that common interest.
Common interest. But then when you work with someone, because you work with 5 of them that are now big companies, what do you think sets them apart? Like, what truly sets them apart? Like, what makes them succeed versus fail?
I think number one is understanding, having that ability to listen to me without patronizing me.
Yeah.
Okay? I am the customer. This is what I want. This is what I need. Yes, this is what I need to meet my
requirement.
Right? As opposed to, oh, this can do, oh, this can sell you. Hey, I want the startup to be able to tell me, you know what, we won't be able to do X for you.
Yeah.
But we will do Y and Z.
Got it.
Okay? While the big player, oh, we will do X, Y, Z, and even if you are thinking of A, we can also give you A. Of course, I know you can't give me all that. And I want that ability to work, right?
And
it's a completely different mindset.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, see, one thing I've tried to do is, because from a product management perspective, right?
Yeah.
Most of the challenge is actually around when you over-promise that you can't do something. So sometimes you have to explain to someone what is possible and why, or if it's not possible, why do you feel it's not possible?
Yes.
Like, I'll give you a dumb example, right? So when we do single sign-on in our product, we don't do a SAML single sign-on. We do it from us, OIDC to Google and 365, and from those, we actually go straight to SAML. So it's kind of like from the 365, we go to your Azure AD or your Okta or whatever.
That's interesting.
So it's interesting, right? Because the reason why we did that is because most people, it's very complicated for them to set up the SAML SSO at the first step. So now they can get the SSO at the beginning. But then sometimes customers say, oh, actually, no, we don't want that. We want it like this. We want it like that. All those kinds of things. And this is where, like, I say, look, you have 2 options. One, we could be managing the passwords. We could be doing this. We could be doing that. And those are all the different parts that we can go in and do. And so this allows us to basically prevent that from having to happen, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to do any of that, literally. And so I think sometimes when you explain to someone, you're like, oh shit, I'll never have my own password. I'll never have to worry about it. Makes a difference.
No, but absolutely. One of the things, and that's very interesting, something that we are pushing more and more for, we are very early in the journey, is that because getting the business to outsource those challenges.
Those challenges. The thought process.
The thought process and all that,
but actually, I learned this from people because people would like have password resets and this and that. I'm like, dude, why didn't you guys configure SSO? And they're like, oh, we couldn't, something like that. I'm like, obviously times have changed. Now SSO is a standard, but I saw the pains and problems and tribulations. And I think that's what you're saying too.
Absolutely, and it has been there for ages. And by the way, it's a rotten employee experience. It's a rotten experience. And that's another thing. Security is the only tech area where we don't discuss employee experience or user experience.
Yeah, and I believe that's the most important part. You gotta change the UX, man. Like the design, the customer actual user experience, not just the administration, but what about everything else, right? I mean, what's actually happening with this stuff?
Yes. In fact, security is the only, in fact, we used to blame the user. Security is the only area where we think the user is the weakest link, while everyone else is talking about user experience, customer experience, employee experience.
But the consumer grade experience is possible. It's not like it's not possible. It is possible.
No, absolutely, it is. And we are seeing it more and more from these new cool startups that are coming, including you guys, right? We're seeing more and more of this. I think the security industry, we really need to drive that different mindset.
Mindset.
Yes, let's focus more on that. Hey, one of my ex-boss told me one day, if you are building your environment and you are not taking into consideration the fact that me as a user, I will be stupid, then you are part of the problem. You know I'm going to be stupid as a user.
Right.
Yet you are building your security solutions to ignore the fact that I will be stupid. Okay? And then you realize that, oh yeah, that's what we've been doing for years. We have been doing that for years.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, I think that's where we have to make a change, right? Like, I mean, when we're talking about things, how do you guys go and do that? So what, if you were going to say one thing, you were going to say for someone to do as a cybersecurity partner for you, because a lot of these companies, they call themselves partners. They technically, we call them vendors.
Yes.
I like to call ourselves a brand. What would you tell them to do?
become a partner, become part of the journey.
Yeah.
Be part of, I talked earlier about being part of the ecosystem, the sink and swim,
Yeah.
or sink or swim. Okay, be in there and understand the journey that they are on.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm bringing here is
But
that
why is that missing though? Why is that link missing? Because I mean, some things it's successful, right?
Yes, I think it comes down to understanding the business. Okay, how many times we security folks we go to understand the customer journeys
Yeah.
and the employee journey? In fact, we don't even discuss security. Doesn't talk about customer journey and employee journeys.
Yeah.
And yet we know that those two are key for any organization. The CFO care about that,
Yeah.
right? So when you look at all that, we need to go back to basics and say, okay, if I understand that, I understand the platforms that are enabling this. And if I understand these platforms, I understand the associated systems, then I can start talking about cyber resilience or all kinds of resilience.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm not going to address the 40,000 vulnerabilities that are waiting for me.
Right. I mean,
Okay.
that's the change.
And
Right?
that's the change. So that change that needs to go from CISOs to their teams to the partners, and then maybe the partners can start boiling the ocean and promising you the world. And then we can start having concrete discussions. That is what I would say the focus should be.
So then when you take that, like, I mean, obviously you've had a very long journey and a very big journey. Because like when there's 10,000, 20,000, then when there's 60,000 people in your company, there's a huge delta, right? It's huge. So then when you're doing that, like, how would you recommend if somebody wants to be in your place one day?
Focus on the business.
Focus on the business, just like you did.
Yes, the business is key. Understanding the business, and then it's just a number game.
How would that change that, focusing on the business?
If you know how your business is making money, that changes completely the landscape. Then you have more empathy towards the tech teams. And then you start thinking completely differently.
Yeah.
Okay. You now understand why the CFO has that pressure. You now understand why the CIO and the CTO are struggling to make those things happen.
Because of what is their struggle?
What is their
What
struggle?
are they
Exactly.
trying to accomplish? And also, because I mean, you can't just go in and blindly ask for money for some random use case, right?
Exactly. And I love it. Security folks, we go to the board and fight the board because we want money, because they're not giving us money. But we're not talking about how everything that we are doing needs to add to the financial and economic value of the company. Security folks don't talk about financial and economic value of the company, which is wrong. If whatever you are doing is not adding to the financial or economic value of the company, then we really need to talk.
So you have to tell me, the last thing is, if somebody wanted to be you, if they want to be like you one day, would you recommend it?
No.
No. Come on.
Hey, I think it's excellent, right? Hey, one thing that I always say, I have always seen myself as the odd one out in the security industry because my background is system design and architecture. I love art, and then I do security. So bringing those three together, I used to think I'm very odd. And until today, I still don't see people putting system design and architecture, art, and security together to do what they need to do. So, but it's excellent doing it.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, for what it's worth, it's insane to see your journey because you started off in a bottom position, and from there you went all the way to the top. But dude, thank you so much, man, for teaching us something new about business and the business of cyber.
Thank you, sir.
Catch you next time, yeah?
Take care.
Take care.
Cheers.